Welcome to the Unpacked podcast, where we're unpacking the reality in today's public schools. Today, I am joined with Ryan Bushnell from Block Imaging. Ryan, could you talk a little bit about your work experience, what Block Imaging is all about, and then we'll get into some deeper conversations about students at the Wilson Talent Center and how they connect to your mission over there at Block Imaging.
Absolutely. I'll do my best to do the mission statement verbatim.
Oh boy.
So Block Imaging, because people matter, Block Imaging strives to create a thriving team culture so that we can extend the life of medical imaging equipment so that healthcare providers can extend the lives of their patients worldwide. So for us as an organization, everything that we do really flows out of that heartbeat, which is people matter. And so if you say people matter, it starts with the team you build at work, creating a workplace that people want to be a part of. One of the things that one of our leaders always says is, what does it look like to make a workplace where people go home from work and they're more energized to be a spouse, to be a parent, rather than walking in the door every day like, I hate my job.
Wouldn't that be awesome if everybody felt that energized when they left work?
Yeah. And so that's where our mission starts. It's with the team. And then from there, it pours out into the work that we're doing to remember that when we are repairing or servicing a piece of medical imaging equipment in the hospital, that is not just a repair to get done, to make money. Someone's sister, brother, husband, mother, someone's life is dependent on that image for the doctor to make a prognosis and set a treatment plan. And usually when people are in for scans, it's already not a great day. And so for the doctors and the patients to remember that there's an urgency to the work we're doing, and doing it well is not just for us to make money as a business. It is so that doctors can care for their patients well, because if you say people matter, those patients are people and they matter, and keeping that in the forefront of what we do is really our goal as an organization.
That's awesome. So service with heart.
Yes, absolutely.
Really focusing on people. I love that. Can you share how you first became involved with the Wilson Talent Center and Career and Technical Education?
Yes, absolutely. So my background is actually education. So I worked for a long time before my background is not medical imaging or engineering. I've worked with students forever. And actually some of my former students got me to come take this job at Block Imaging. And so when we were having a conversation about what does it look like to create apprenticeship programs, we are right down the road from Wilson Talent Center. And it
lucky us.
Yeah, well, lucky us, honestly. And so this was the first place that I reached out to start building a partnership with, because I knew that the career and technical education programs were more likely to connect us with students who had passions and talents that already aligned with the work that we're doing. Because our team, we need people who are tinkerers. We need people who like to figure out how something works and figure out how to break it and put it back together again. We're not making anything new. We are all secondary market. We are just servicing other equipment and keeping it alive as long as we can. And so we need the people that want to be very, very hands-on. Yeah. And so I reached out originally to the former engineering technologies teacher, started that conversation, and it has been a great partnership with us. In January of 26, it'll be 3 years since we started partnering really intentionally with the Wilson Talent Center. And we partner with the Wilson Talent Center to do work-based learning opportunities, which is students who are still enrolled in the Wilson Talent Center.
Right.
Work with us for half a day. We have 4 of them from the Wilson Talent Center right now.
Fantastic.
And they're crushing it, all of them.
Love it.
And then we have been in the process of developing apprenticeship programs for the last couple of years, and Wilson Talent Center and then Holt High School, who's also down the road from us, are our 2 main partners that we try to recruit students from for our apprenticeship, which again, really when we were creating the apprenticeship was like, okay, how do you make a meaningful career path for someone into the medical imaging field? And so recruiting students from Wilson Talent Center, we knew we were getting students that wanted to work with their hands.
Right.
But then the responsibility is on us to make this experience more than just a paycheck for them.
Yeah.
And provide a way for local students who already have the technical desire to find a place where they can build like a really, really meaningful career.
So getting them into the building to actually see what you do is a big part of that.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it kind of starts with us showing up here where the students are. So supporting things at Wilson Talent Center like career day, mock interviews. Those are small lifts for us. It takes like a day of time, but the student connection you make there gets enough like interest and curiosity sparked in the students where then we can invite them to us. And so we host a ton of students for like job shadows and tours. And when we can get the students in our building so they see what we do, then all of a sudden it makes sense and they can start to picture themselves doing this work as a career, because no one knows, like no one thinks about the things at the hospital and who has to face them. Like it's just not a career. Like when you take a career survey in high school where it's like firefighter or engineer, like medical imaging is not one of the things in that list.
Yeah.
But we know like, man, the student that likes to build their own computers, the student that their favorite thing is the robotics team, the student who loves to take apart and rebuild small engines for their lawnmower or whatever. We know that student will thrive on our team. They will love the type of work that we do, but we need to get a chance to get them in the door.
Yeah, they need to see it.
So they can see it. So it makes sense, because it's really hard. Even when we come here for career day, I started bringing a B-roll video that we put on our table.
Did you really? That's cool.
Because it's hard to explain to people.
It is.
Because even if you've had to go to the hospital and get a CT, you have no idea what the inside of that thing looks like.
No.
But when I can get them in the building and then show them what one looks like and have an engineer explain to them, hey, here's all the stuff we have to do to make sure this thing works, it sparks their interest. And all of a sudden they're like, I didn't know about this, but now that I see it, I could see myself really enjoying working here. So, and for us so far, we're having incredible luck with Wilson Talent Center connection. This is not I know I didn't come here to do a commercial for Wilson.
No.
But in the last 3 years, we're in double digits since we started partnering with Wilson Talent Center.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So.
It's good for the kids. So I hear that a lot, that, our kids really don't have any idea what's happening in the area, right? And we try to give them as much exposure as we possibly can, but the opportunities that you're throwing out there for kids makes a difference. It helps them really understand, dig in deep and see what they can do versus what they think they might be able to do. So I love that. I really love that. Talk a little bit about mentorship and what that means to your organization and how it really helps you thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So organizationally, we have a really high emphasis on like feedback and consistent one-on-ones with leaders, right? So making sure that we have a rhythm where the people who report to you are getting FaceTime with you, and that FaceTime is not just about tasks that need to be done. So we actually have like an iceberg graphic that we use when we talk about one-on-ones. And our goal is to actually focus on like what's below the surface of the iceberg. So like what's going on in someone's personal life. The center part of the iceberg would then be what are the areas of challenge and growth that we want to see from people, or that someone wants for themselves, right? Is somebody craving an opportunity for something new, a new challenge?
And you don't know if you don't ask.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the very tip of the iceberg is tasks, things that need to get done. And so with our apprentices who are, 18 when they start the program right out of high school, those apprentices, like where they are at developmentally, we really focus the initial like mentoring conversations on the personal stuff, just really getting to know people, building a sense of trust.
Yeah.
Like we talk a lot at work about being a high trust culture, which comes from the book The Five Dysfunctions of a Team.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about high trust culture. And so we really emphasize especially the first couple months of meeting with the apprentices, it's just really making sure they know there's somebody here at work that cares about me, not just caring about me getting my job done. And so we really, really try to have a high emphasis on mentoring. So the whole 2 years that they're in our apprenticeship, they're meeting weekly with somebody. The mentors do kind of shift and change as their job changes.
Yeah.
But then, so I'm the like liaison who I stay with them for the whole 2 years while they shift to different managers within the program.
Yeah. That's got to make such a big difference in their experience working for your organization, right? Just keeping them there or helping them understand that it's not just about the numbers, it's about you as a person.
Yep. And we also do a weekly group meeting with the apprentices where we go through some personal and professional development content. We go through some books with them, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team being one of them, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And the goal of those conversations is to make sure that they know, like, we care about you, like, as a person becoming the person that you want to be. We want to help you figure that out and support you and cheer you on. And we hope that that means at the end of the 2 years, you love it here and you're going to stay here forever. Like,
Right.
retention is one of our goals for these apprentices. We want to keep them, but we primarily care about them as a person. And so making sure that the conversations we're having one-on-one and in our group, like personal and professional development courses, making sure that we're connecting that to what's going on outside of work as well. It's crazy to think that what's going on at somebody's home is not going to have an effect on how they show up to work.
Right.
And so we want to make sure they know that they have some safe people that they can trust to talk about whatever's going on at home. And I mean, to the point where I met one of our apprentices brought their parents through for a tour.
Oh, yeah.
And we always tell them when they start, like, hey, if your parents want to come through and see the place to know like where it is you're going to be working, we would love to host them for a tour. Especially when some of our apprentices start and they're not even 18 yet.
Right.
And parents hear like, wait, you're working on X-ray as in radiation? And so like for us to be able to be like, we're very safe. And here's all the safety things we have in place so that parents are confident in our ability to take care of their student. So the apprentices, when they bring their parents through, it's always fun to meet them. But one of the student apprentices' parents last year joked, "Oh, you're the work therapist." And I was like, well, I'm not qualified to be but thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. If that's what they're saying about me at home, I take that as a compliment. So,
well, it's funny because what you're saying about how you treat your apprentices or your staff is really full circle to your mission, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's
what
goal. You said right at the beginning. It's not necessarily just what you do for the customers, but it's what you do the same for your people. So that's fantastic. And that's great for kids who don't necessarily have, and I shouldn't say kids, young adults who really are trying to figure out where they go next. So I think that's wonderful that you kind of create this whole culture that is welcoming and helping them understand that they belong. So that's fantastic. So can you share maybe an example of a student that was at Block Imaging, like a story that people would like to hear, like something they learned or something, an aha moment they had that you were able to see that might help our audience kind of understand the connection between what you do and how our students are really impacted?
Yeah. I probably shouldn't use names.
Well, you can use first names.
We can use first names?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. I want to think of one that is good, but also not too personal because I don't want to share details from an apprentice that they would not be comfortable with me sharing.
Well, you don't have to share their name.
Trying to think, who do I want to talk about? I think okay, I'll share a couple and then you can just edit it and
sure. Yeah.
which ones you want to talk about. And I'll talk about a couple different things. So in our personal professional development stuff that we do with the group, we do a big section on finances.
Yeah.
And like, how do you establish financial independence as a young adult? So we bring in a guest from the bank and they talk about, here's how you have to build credit. Like, here's the warnings you want to look for when it comes to credit cards and interest and loans, and do our best to prepare them. We go through Ramsey principles with them. We try to give them the information, but not tell them what to do.
Right.
And talk about retirement and all this kind of stuff. And one of the challenges that we do is we have them make a SMART goal for their finances.
Oh, that's good.
And then we check in on that every couple months.
Oh, nice.
And so we just had a check-in with one of the groups of apprentices about their SMART goals to see how it was going. It's going better for some than it is for others, which is to be expected.
Yes, to be.
Some of them still have a Big B problem.
It's the location.
Yeah, having be across the street does require some discipline for us. Yes. But no, one of the apprentices set a SMART goal less than a year ago to pay off their entire car loan, which was around $8,000.
Wow.
And have enough money saved to get their first apartment and move out by this year.
Wow, that's pretty lofty, but good.
And in the window that they set for themselves for this goal, it required them to set aside, I think it was like $600 a month in order to do it in the time that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They successfully paid it off in the time that they wanted, and they would be ready to get their apartment now, but they're really nice and they let a friend borrow some money. Which is like, I don't want to, I want to cheer them on for being such a kind and wonderful friend. Yep. But so it's been really fun.
There will be a lesson in that.
Yes. Yeah.
Likely.
For sure. But it's been really fun to see them set goals for themselves and actually follow through on them. Because I think people make a mistake when they think about 18 to 24-year-olds.
Agreed.
I think they think of them as having limited capacity, and I just don't. After years and years of working with 18 to 24-year-olds, I just don't think that's true. I think they are capable of so much more than we give them credit for. And sometimes they just need somebody that is both going to support them and also then challenge them.
Right.
Like,
you can't just challenge them and not support them.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Like, there's a balance between, and this is from a book, and I can't remember what book, but the balance between invitation and challenge.
Yes. Because they need that support. They're young adults trying to figure out what's next for them, and the more you can support them, the better off they'll be, and the more likely they are to stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even trying to help prepare our leaders for working effectively with 18-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So we have an amazing team of leaders that are on the teams where apprentices spend their first year. So doing some just really quick trainings with them about like, okay, guys, here's what's going on in the brain physiologically of an 18-year-old. Here's the things we need to be aware of because these are the people we are working with. Like, we have a responsibility to give this 18-year-old their first real job work experience. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to do this to the best of our ability, we got to know where they are at developmentally. And so just sharing with them, like, here's some of the challenges that are common for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And these apprentices, some of them are going to have these challenges. And it's on us then to walk with them through those challenges, not just, why aren't you happy today?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, they're figuring out how the heck to be an adult.
Right. And that's where your background is, right? That's where you start at 18 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah, my background is higher education.
Yep.
My master's degree is higher ed. So my passion is the identity formation process.
That's fantastic.
And it's a privilege to walk alongside somebody who's going through that part of their journey.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, tell me a little bit. So the same thing you just said about 18 to 24-year-olds, I kind of feel like that with high school kids. Like, if we raise the bar enough, they'll respond. And there's a lot of people out there like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do? Make copies for us? But I think that's limiting their potential. We know that they have a lot more potential than that. So maybe people that aren't in what we do every day don't see that because they don't see how exceptional they are. But just talk about that maybe. What is a 16 or 17-year-old doing that's in high school that you can really see it's connecting them to their next steps?
Yeah, so I agree with you that I think they are capable of far more than people give them credit for. And I think sometimes what they're missing is the opportunity.
Yeah.
I think it's totally fair that managers and people who are hiring have some reservations about adding 16-year-olds to their team.
Understood.
Totally understood. There are 50-year-olds that get jobs and it doesn't work out. So to just say, well, we're not going to hire 16-year-olds because 16-year-olds bring a unique challenge. I would challenge businesses to think outside the box on that. But so for us, our approach is we give them a pretty high level of responsibility and autonomy, but making sure that we're giving them good training up front because we never want them to feel like they're floundering. We also never want them to be we never want them to just be making copies. And we never want them to think that the work they're doing doesn't contribute, doesn't give value to the organization. Mm-hmm. So right now, our work-based learners are on a couple different teams. One team right now, they're bored. They're working on inventory. And it's a really hard job that they're doing right now. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of repetitive.
Very repetitive, I'm sure.
But they're crushing it. They're doing a great job.
Awesome.
but they know that like the parts that they are making sure are correct in inventory are directly connected to our ability to get those parts to engineers in the field who are repairing systems in hospitals. So they know that the thing that they are doing is an essential part of our business operation.
Fantastic. Make that connection for them.
And so, and it's as simple as asking them the question, like,
Right.
hey, the work that you're doing right now, tell me how that connects to how block imaging makes money. And then force them to like make that connection in their own way.
Yeah.
And feel a sense of pride of like, oh, holy smokes. Yeah, I guess I just inventoried like $100,000 worth of stuff this week. It's like, yeah, that was really cool. That's really important for our business. Thank you.
Right.
And then the other team of work-based learners right now, they're handling like they're also on the inventory side. Our work-based learners have to stay on the inventory side because they can't work on any systems that are live for insurance reasons.
Understood.
But that team, they get to see all of the they see the craziness of all the things that are delivered every day and all the things that are like big, full pieces of equipment that come in and out of the door. So they're not separate doing their own thing. They are a team working alongside our full-time team members.
That's fantastic.
So they're not showing up and doing some separate menial task. Like, no, we're like, you're a part of the team. And we try to like make sure that their experience is as if they were a full-time team member, even though we only have them for, 10 to 15 hours a week, depending on their schedule.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm part of the communications team here, and we actually have 2 interns as well, because we want to see the same, practice what we preach, in education. Let's try and see if we can get our interns. And all of the ones that we've had up in the last couple of years have really stepped up to the plate. And I love to see them thrive. And I like to share the stories with our community too, because people just don't understand. They don't make the connection. So I think that's fantastic. Well, what would you share with other businesses that are apprehensive or even ready to jump in about, how to work with career and technical education and help even grow their own pipeline? Except for we don't want them to take away from yours.
I'll cheer anybody on.
That's great.
My passion is the young adult development.
That's true.
So
said that before. Yeah.
Just having them find a place that is a place where they can like find a place for somebody in our community, first of all, to stay in our community.
Right. Yes.
So that we're not losing our technical talent to other places.
Here, right?
So keeping people in Lansing. If it's not at Block Imaging, like I'm still going to support and encourage any other business in any way.
That's fantastic.
Because that, I want all this local talent to stay local. I care about Lansing.
And we need it.
Yeah.
We really do. Yeah.
Yep. And so, I would say to challenge for other businesses, I would say 1, make sure your team is on board and ready. So I think a lot of our success with work-based learners and with apprenticeships is credit to our team and our company culture.
Because you had a plan.
Yes. And we did. We put together a plan, but it also just our company culture in general made it easy, I think, to have some early success with this because our team was excited about like creating these opportunities.
Right.
So say if you're a business and you're thinking about this, get your team on board so that it is a good experience when your first work-based learner shows up. Then I would say the next challenge I would have is have an actual meaningful like job for them to do, like have them be a part of the team.
Makes total sense.
And then I think the other piece would be like when we started this, I wanted to immediately connect with the specific programs, right? So I reached out to engineering technologies to Holt High School Project Lead the Way because I knew that that was the type of student that we wanted. We wanted the tinkerers.
Right.
And so I would say for your business, there are a ton of programs.
There are.
And so I would identify a program that is teaching the type of skills that are required for success in your industry and just start partnering with one specific program.
Yeah, that's a good place to start because we have about 20 programs, I think, at Wilson Town Center. So there's a ton there. Plus Holt has some and other school districts have some programs too. And robotics is all over the place.
Yep.
So
I would say find the right pond to fish in for your business and just build a really healthy like relationship with that program. And then I would say the next the next step in that, I think, would be I think that I'm good with that. I think
those three, yeah.
Make sure your team's ready.
Those are good steps.
Make sure your team's ready. Make sure you have a meaningful job for the students, and then find your strategic partner. That's kind of what we have done, and then we've slowly built off of that, right? So we started small, and then we've just slowly built as we've gone forward.
Right, because you can always test the waters, refine the process, and then make sure that you're getting what you and what the student need out of the partnership. So that's fantastic. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience that might be listening about, block imaging or the Wilson Talent Center, or just career and technical education and helping young people find their way so that they stay here in Lansing?
Yeah. I mean, I would say after years of working with adolescents and young adults, I can tell you, I have anecdotal stories for days, success stories of a student or an apprentice who someone was like, oh, they're not going to be able to do it. And they did it. And if I could give one challenge for local businesses, it would be the Zig Ziglar quote, who's a 1980s motivational speaker, which is, many people have gone further than they thought they could because someone else thought they could.
Right.
And I just think we need more businesses that believe in the potential of people and are willing to take someone from the potential to a valuable contributing member of your team. Because no 17 or 18-year-old is walking out the door with the level of experience and maturity that a 30-year-old does. Sure, fine. I think for us as adults in the community, if we want our businesses to grow and thrive, it's on us to invite in and level up the local talent so that we keep them and our businesses thrive and our communities thrive as well. So
that's fantastic. All right. Well, thank you. I think that's probably all we have time for today, but I appreciate you coming on board and coming to our Unpack podcast to learn more about the realities in today's public schools.